Your soulmate was on a dinner date last night, and shockingly, their date was my beloved child. Don't skip, because what you are about to hear is not what anyone expected. Last night, while you were living your ordinary evening, your soulmate quietly walked into a candlelit restaurant carrying emotions they had hidden for far too long. They believed they were walking toward a dinner that would finally convince them to forget you forever. They smiled politely as they sat across the table, but behind that smile was a storm they couldn't silence. The strange part wasn't the restaurant. It wasn't the expensive meal or the quiet music. The shocking truth was the person sitting across from them. Everyone around them assumed it was a romantic date, but nothing about that meeting unfolded the way anyone imagined. Before the first bite was even taken, your name entered the conversation without warning. Your soulmate tried to avoid it, changed the subject, forced another smile, yet somehow every sentence circled back to you. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the truth behind this dinner changes everything you thought you knew. The person across the table leaned forward with a calm expression and asked one unexpected question. Are you really ready to let them go? The restaurant suddenly felt quieter than ever before. Your soulmate froze. They had prepared answers for dozens of questions, but not for that one. Seconds passed without a word. Their eyes drifted toward the window as memories they had buried began rushing back one after another. They remembered the conversations they never finished, the moments they wished they could relive, and the future they secretly imagined with you. The stranger noticed every emotion crossing their face. Instead of encouraging them to move on, that person gently challenged every excuse they had been telling themselves. Don't skip, because this was never a normal dinner date. It became something much deeper. It became a mirror reflecting feelings your soulmate had been running from for far too long. At that very table, they realized the hardest person to deceive wasn't you. It was themselves. Then came the moment no one inside that restaurant could have predicted. The person across the table slowly reached into a small envelope they had brought and placed a single photograph on the table. It wasn't a picture of themselves. It wasn't a picture of another relationship. It was something connected to you in a way that instantly stole every bit of confidence your soulmate had left. The moment they saw it, their heartbeat changed. Their hands trembled just enough to reveal the truth they had been hiding behind fake smiles. The dinner stopped feeling like an ending and started feeling like the beginning of a decision that could rewrite both of your futures. They finally admitted something they had refused to say out loud for months. No matter how hard they tried to replace the thoughts of you, every road somehow led back to the same destination. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What was inside that envelope wasn't the biggest surprise of the night. The words spoken immediately after that photograph appeared would leave your soulmate completely speechless. A silence settled over the table that felt heavier than any conversation. Your soulmate stared at the photograph, unable to look away, because it reminded them of a promise they once believed had disappeared forever. The person sitting across from them didn't interrupt. They simply waited, almost as if they already knew what was about to happen. Then your soulmate whispered something so quietly that only one sentence could be heard. I never stopped thinking about them. Those words changed the entire atmosphere. The dinner was no longer about moving forward. It became a night of truth. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Every second of this story is leading toward a revelation that no one saw coming. Your soulmate finally understood that pretending to be happy had become more exhausting than admitting what was truly inside their heart. The mysterious guest smiled gently and asked another unexpected question. If they stood in front of you right now, what would you say? Your soulmate looked down, took a slow breath, and closed their eyes for a moment. Instead of answering immediately, memories flooded back faster than they could control. They remembered laughter that still echoed in their mind, conversations they replayed before falling asleep, and dreams they never confessed to anyone. They realized they hadn't been comparing you to other people. They had been comparing everyone else to you. That realization hit harder than anything served on the table that night. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The person across from them wasn't trying to steal their heart. They were quietly helping your soulmate discover where it had belonged all along. Then the dinner reached its most unexpected turning point. Before leaving, the mysterious guest slid one final folded note across the table and stood up without asking for anything in return. Your soulmate unfolded it with trembling hands. Written across the center was a single sentence that instantly changed their expression. Some people are meant to be replaced, but one person was never meant to be forgotten. They sat there long after the other chair became empty, reading those words again and again. In that moment, they made a private decision that nobody else in the restaurant knew about. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. Before the sun rises again, your soulmate is going to take a step they have been avoiding for far too long, and what pushes them to make that move will shock you even more than the dinner itself. When your soulmate finally stepped outside, the cool night air felt completely different. It was as if the weight they had been carrying for months had suddenly become impossible to ignore. They didn't start the car right away. Instead, they stood beside it, staring into the distance while replaying every word from that dinner over and over again. They had walked into that restaurant believing they were closing a chapter, but they walked out realizing the story had never truly ended. The hardest truth was no longer hiding from you. It was hiding from themselves. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. The next decision they made happened within minutes, and it wasn't planned. It came straight from the heart, surprising even them. Without thinking twice, your soulmate unlocked their phone and scrolled through old conversations they had promised themselves never to read again. Every message carried a memory. Every memory carried a feeling they had tried to bury beneath distractions and silence. They smiled, then paused, then smiled again as they realized something almost unbelievable. Time had changed many things, but it had never changed the way they felt whenever your name appeared before their eyes. In that moment, they understood why every attempt to move on had quietly failed. It wasn't because they were weak. It was because a part of their heart had never left your side. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Just as they were about to put the phone away, an unexpected notification appeared on the screen that made them freeze completely. The notification wasn't random. It arrived at the exact moment they were questioning whether they should reach out or remain silent forever. Your soulmate stared at it for several seconds, unable to believe the timing. They whispered, "This can't be a coincidence." Their heartbeat grew faster as they realized the night was far from over. One decision was about to lead to another, and another, until there would be no turning back. They took one deep breath, looked at your name one more time, and slowly lifted their finger toward the screen. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. What they were about to see after opening that notification would completely change their plan. And it would bring them one step closer to you than they had ever expected. The screen lit up, and for a brief second your soulmate forgot to breathe. The notification wasn't what they had expected, yet it carried a message that felt impossible to ignore. It reminded them of a moment they thought the world had already erased. They read it once. Then again. And then a third time, hoping the words would somehow change. But they didn't. Every sentence pulled them closer to one undeniable truth. They had spent too much time waiting for the perfect moment, while the most important person in their heart remained impossible to replace. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The silence they had been hiding behind was finally beginning to crack, and once that happened, there would be no way to return to the life they had been pretending to accept. As they sat alone inside the car, they imagined what would happen if they reached out to you. Questions raced through their mind faster than they could answer them. Would you respond? Would you still care? Or had too much time already slipped away? For the first time in a long while, fear was no longer stronger than hope. They realized that losing the chance to speak to you would hurt far more than hearing an answer they didn't expect. That realization gave them a kind of courage they hadn't felt in months. They opened a blank message, typed a few words, erased them, typed again, and paused with trembling hands. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. The message they were preparing wasn't ordinary, it carried everything they had kept locked inside for far too long. Just before pressing send, something completely unexpected happened. Their phone rang. The caller wasn't someone they had spoken to in weeks, yet that voice delivered news that instantly changed the direction of the entire night. Your soulmate's expression shifted from uncertainty to complete disbelief. They stepped out of the car, looking up at the dark sky as if trying to understand how everything had changed so quickly. The message to you remained open on the screen, unfinished but no longer forgotten. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What they heard during that phone call made them realize waiting another day was no longer an option, and before this story is over, a truth connected to you will finally come into the light in a way neither of you could have imagined. A few moments after the call ended, your soulmate remained completely still. They weren't shocked because of who had called, they were shocked because of what they had learned. The voice on the other end revealed that several misunderstandings had quietly grown over time, each one pushing the two of you farther apart without either of you realizing it. Suddenly, pieces of the puzzle began falling into place. Conversations that once seemed confusing now made perfect sense. Missed opportunities, unanswered moments, and painful silence no longer looked like accidents. They looked like chances that had slipped away because neither heart knew the full truth. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. What your soulmate discovered that night gave them a reason they had never had before, to stop assuming and finally seek the truth for themselves. They looked back at the unfinished message on their phone. This time, they didn't erase a single word. Instead, they added one honest sentence that had been trapped inside their heart for far too long: "There are things I should have said much sooner." The moment those words appeared on the screen, they felt an unexpected sense of peace. It wasn't because they knew what would happen next. It was because they had finally stopped hiding from their own feelings. Every excuse they had been using slowly disappeared. They realized that protecting their pride had cost them far more than protecting their heart ever would. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The next step they were preparing to take would require more courage than anything they had done in months. Then, just as they gathered the confidence to move forward, they noticed one final detail that made their heartbeat race all over again. Hidden among old memories was something they had overlooked for a very long time, a small clue that completely changed how they understood your story together. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it carried a meaning so powerful that they could no longer ignore it. They smiled for the first time that night, not because every problem had disappeared, but because hope had finally become stronger than fear. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. The very next choice your soulmate makes will set events into motion that neither of you will see coming, and that choice could become the turning point both of your hearts have been waiting for. A new sense of determination settled over your soulmate before the night was over. For the first time in a long while, they stopped asking themselves, "What if it goes wrong?" and started asking, "What if I lose the chance forever?" That single change in thinking transformed everything. They understood that some opportunities only appear once, and if they let this one pass, they might spend years wondering what could have happened. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The fear that had controlled them for so long was quietly losing its power, and something much stronger was taking its place: hope. Every step they took from that moment felt like they were finally walking toward the truth instead of running away from it. Before heading home, your soulmate made one unexpected stop. It wasn't planned, and no one told them to go there. They simply followed a feeling they couldn't explain. Standing in that quiet place, they reflected on every moment that had brought them to this point. They realized that every delay, every misunderstanding, and every unanswered question had been shaping them into someone ready to choose honesty over silence. They closed their eyes for a brief moment and made a promise to themselves: no more pretending, no more waiting for the perfect time, and no more letting fear decide their future. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The decision they had just made would soon lead them directly toward a conversation they once believed would never happen. As the first light of a new day began to appear, your soulmate looked at their phone one final time. The unfinished message was no longer unfinished. Their finger slowly moved toward the send button, but just before they touched the screen, another unexpected sign appeared that confirmed they were on the right path. They smiled with a quiet confidence that hadn't been there when the night began. The dinner everyone believed was the end of your story had actually become the beginning of a completely different chapter. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Within the next few moments, a choice will be made that neither fear nor distance can stop, and when that choice reaches you, you'll finally understand why last night's mysterious dinner had to happen exactly the way it did. A few seconds later, everything became incredibly quiet. Your soulmate looked at the screen one last time, smiled softly, and finally accepted a truth they had been fighting for far too long. The distance between you was never as powerful as the feelings they carried inside. Every attempt to convince themselves that the story was over had only made your place in their heart stronger. They no longer wanted another distraction, another excuse, or another unanswered tomorrow. They wanted clarity. They wanted honesty. Most of all, they wanted the chance to stop wondering what could have been. Don't skip. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. The next chapter of your connection isn't being written by fear anymore, it's being written by courage. As the morning quietly arrived, your soulmate made a promise that no one else heard. They promised they would never again allow silence to speak louder than their heart. They understood that life can change in a single conversation, and they refused to let another opportunity disappear because of hesitation. Every memory from that mysterious dinner now made perfect sense. The person everyone believed was a romantic date had never come to replace you. They had unknowingly become the one who forced your soulmate to face the truth they had avoided for so long. That dinner wasn't about finding someone new. It was about realizing there had never been anyone capable of taking your place. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you. Sometimes the greatest turning point arrives disguised as an ordinary evening, only to reveal its purpose when it's almost over. And now the story reaches the moment everything has been building toward. Your soulmate no longer sees your connection as a chapter left behind. They see it as a door that was never truly closed. The fear that once held them back has finally been replaced by determination, and the uncertainty that filled their heart has been replaced by one clear decision: to stop hiding what they truly feel. Whether the next step comes through a message, an unexpected meeting, or a moment neither of you can predict, one thing has completely changed. They are no longer running away from what their heart has always known. Don't skip, because something huge is waiting for you. Last night's dinner wasn't the ending everyone imagined. It became the unforgettable moment that led your soulmate back to the person they could never truly leave behind, you.